afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Argo News. I'm Cara Brown.
And I'm Emily Hales. Thanksgiving is here. This means Christmas is only a month away.
Reporter Anna Plevac has more on those already getting into the Christmas spirit.
Christmas may still be a month away, but churches in Pensacola are already getting in the Christmas spirit.
Operation Christmas Child is basically Samaritan's Purse is who runs that organization, and Operation Christmas Child is just where you pack shoe boxes for children across the world in third world countries, and those boxes get delivered to children who are in great need, not only of items but also to hear the gospel for the very first time. So a lot of times they go to orphanages and schools and places like that to be able to not only share but also to provide gifts for the first time for some of them. I think for me, we at Hillcrest, our goal is 1,200 shoe boxes. And so for me, the goal is, one is to get, gifts into the hands of children who don't even have something as simple as a toothbrush. But most importantly, to reach children who have never heard the gospel for the first time. So to me, that's like the ultimate goal. The first thing you can do is you can get yourself a box. You can get a plastic box, or you can use a regular box, and just go ahead and pack it up full of things. We have a brochure. You can go online and check out suggested items, fill it up, and then bring it back to any location that is Operation Christmas Child certified. So you can bring it here to Hillcrest, or you can bring it to Olive, and then they'll take care of the rest.
Operation Christmas Child is a great way to help kids around the world. For more information, visit hillcrestchurch.com. I'm Anna Plevac reporting for Argo News.
Kathleen Hicks has more on a UWF student who is using her experience to help her with things everyone goes through.
When tragedy strikes, sometimes you can turn it into a way to make a difference.
Whenever I was 13 years old, I was diagnosed with papillary thyroid cancer, and after 2 years of fighting it, I went into remission and was actually part of a reality TV show on MTV. I met Ryan Sheckler, and we become really good friends, and that's who I actually work with now. He's one of my biggest sponsors and supporters. So after that, I started traveling around the U.S., speaking to hospitals, children, just telling my story and motivating people that even though they're stuck in a terrible situation, that you can always get out of it, and make it a positive thing. So I started doing that and wrote a few teddy bear companies. Chelsea's Teddy Bear Company in Michigan donated 400 teddy bears. They showed up on my doorstep. I wasn't even expecting it. So I wrote out my story and started donating them to the kids going through chemo everywhere in the U.S. I mean, from California to New York City to Texas, South Florida. I did that for 2 years. And I was 15 at the time, so I was young. So all throughout high school, I was pretty much doing Casey Helps Kids, and I wanted to do more, so I started doing support groups, just because I know that even after you go through cancer, you still need counseling and support, because I think after going through such a terrible disease, like coming back to normal life is the hardest part. So I started meeting with families and holding support groups for the children and their parents. I did that for about 2 years, and then I started doing tutoring, and this January I launched our financial assistance program, and I give $500 per family per year for counseling services, co-pays, medications.
For more information, visit CaseyHelpsKids.org. I'm Kathleen Hicks, reporting for Argo News.
There's nothing like dancing to forget your problems. Let's go to Princeton Drake with more on this story.
It's hip and it's hop, the latest dance group set to the hottest music out today.
I started dancing at the end of high school, my senior year. It came naturally, and it was an outlet for me. It was something I can go to when, suffering came and tribulations came. The worker here saw me dancing just during my free time. She was looking through the window, and she was like, "Hey, you should start a dance class." And I was like, "I don't know if I should." And she said, "Oh, I will so come." And so I went through the training. I had to pay $125 to become a fitness personal trainer and have to get my aids. I had to get the first aid training also as well, and eventually I became a fitness trainer. Technique is like the base. You need it for any type of dancing. You need that technique to just continue, and you need creativity. Nobody likes to conform to what others do, what type of dancing other people do, because maybe your own dancing is the one that just kills it all. I listen to the music. I listen to the lyrics first of the song. Most of the time I just get a concept in my head, and then I try to listen to a song that matches that concept. So I listen to the beat, and then the moves just come naturally with the beat and the concept. The dance class is located in the gym, in the Green Studio. It's free for all UWF students and even non-UWF students, unless you just have to pay if you're not in the school, if you don't take classes. You gotta be motivated. If you're not motivated, then the work is, you're doing work in vain. So you have to be motivated in what you want to do.
This high energy workout will definitely have you sweating while you learn the hottest dance moves from around the world. I'm Princeton Drake reporting for Argo News.
UWF's football team will be here in less than 5 years. Reporter Krista Orzo has more.
In 2016, UWF will officially have a football team. But what else is there to know about it?
The team is going to start out playing in Community Maritime Park. The stadium is actually a double-A baseball stadium down on the bay. It will be able to be conformed to a football size field. The left field wall pops out a little bit. And this gives us some advantages. I mean, it gives us some advantages that we'll be able to market ourselves to the downtown community, that we're on a beautiful facility on the bay that has a lot of rooms and concessions and video board that we probably wouldn't be able to start out with here on campus. The location, if it stays consistent with the master plan, is on where the current intramural field sits now, and it would be a bowl effect into that area that sort of creates a new university park with other pieces that include parking garage, potentially housing, new union, clock tower, and some other things. Well, I think one reason would be that we have a great academic institution. We offer a lot of growing programs. We have a good medium-sized regional institution. It gives a student a lot of opportunities and selections as far as majors or what they want to choose to be. Another reason is we have a beautiful campus.
Remember to come out and show your UWF Argo some support as they begin to leave their legacy at Maritime Park in 2016. I'm Krista Orzo, reporting for Argo News.
Nowadays, many people overlook those who are making the technology we use every day easier for us. Rafael Reyes has more.
To what it takes to run the technology that runs in the background of a business?
I'm responsible for two big things. One, I'm responsible for all of our servers, and we have, let's see, roughly about 10 servers currently that we're running. It's a mix of web, SQL, MySQL, along with we have a deployment server, we have a secure storage server so that we can do backups and that sort of thing. So I have to maintain those. What does maintaining those mean? Patches, hardware maintenance, software maintenance, making sure that we have as close to 100% uptime as possible. On a day-to-day operation, most of what we deal with are either problems in the classrooms, typically projectors not working, lamps blown, that sort of thing, common everyday stuff. Most people think that a technician sits in a room and they type on a computer and that's it. That's all they do. Or they work on hardware in a back room somewhere and that's all they do. Not so. You also have to have people skills. You have to be able to be reassuring. You have to be able to understand what the person is telling you is wrong, because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to know how to explain it exactly right. They'll tell you symptoms or they'll tell you what they think is happening instead of actually telling you what's going on. So you've got to be able to sort of coax that information out of them, or at least put the pieces together.
To this date, John Holliday continues to service and maintain the web servers and video conference technology used to bring students and teachers closer together, improving the overall learning experience. I'm Rafael Reyes, reporting for Argo News.
Reporter Bruce Joseph has more on robots being built by the next generation.
Competition is nothing without robots.
Well, actually, UWF started hosting Best Robotics about 7 years ago, I believe. Prior to that, the high school and middle school kids that wanted to compete in Best had to go to Mobile, Alabama and compete in that area. And they did that for about 3 years until finally there was enough interest and enough capacity in Northwest Florida to sponsor a hub here. There's actually 2 different ways that the schools can compete in Best. They can choose to just build the robot and compete in that aspect of it. But we really motivate them and encourage them to compete for what's called the Best Award. And that's a much broader perspective of what it means to do engineering and science and technology. It involves developing essentially a business model for whatever that year's simulation is. So this year's simulation, they're essentially building a robot for a plant that builds electronic circuits, integrated circuits. And so they build a virtual business around that. They give a marketing presentation about it. They create an exhibits booth around the theme of their simulation, and they create the robot. And in that competition, the robot's actually only about 10 or 15% of the points. So it awakens those students to the realization that engineering is much more than just what most people think about engineering.
The Best Robotic Competition isn't just a competition, it's a learning experience. I'm Bruce Joseph, reporting for Argo News.
Chelsea Harrison has more on a UWF student who built something quite unique.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to build a musical instrument?
It's kind of a labor of love, a family thing. My dad's been doing it since 1977. I have 8 brothers, 2 sisters, and all of the brothers have built at least 2 or more guitars. Pretty much how everything's made is a lot of skill, a lot of know-how, and patience. It's a very meticulous type of construction here. Every side and every piece has to be perfect for the guitar to work and be a quality product. So this is my guitar that I built. It has a canary neck, all bird's eye maple back and sides, ebony stringer, ebony fretboard, ebony headstock, and a spruce top out of a piano that I took apart. And actually that rosette there is all made from piano keys that I cut down, and I pieced it all in and inlaid the rosette there. There's a lot to do when you build a guitar, and it's definitely a fun thing to do.
For more information, please find Joe Roper on Facebook. This is Chelsea Harrison reporting for UWF Argo News.
The semester is coming to a close, and UWF students are preparing for their futures. Reporter Nick Gray has the story.
Traditional university cities like Tallahassee or Gainesville render images of garnet and gold, blue and orange. But UWF President Dr. Judy Bentz sees only blue and green for Northwest Florida.
On September 4th, Dr. Bentz announced that football was coming to the university, but the announcement was only part of a much bigger plan that will impact both students and the community.
Part of student life part of community engagement is having a sport that everybody loves, and that's football. We've been here for 47 years, the university has, but I think with football and having it downtown, it's going to become a collegiate town.
And by 2016, students will be able to watch their football team's first game right here.
At the Pensacola Bayfront Stadium, the decision to kick off the Argo's inaugural season here is one that Dr. Bentz believes will be beneficial for everyone involved.
The vendors, the merchants, the restaurants, the hotels, you know it's going to be the place for all of our competitors who come and play us at a home game. Once we made that decision, I realized that that was a really good decision.
Dr. Bentz assures that UWF football will take place on campus once funds are available. The program, along with their current master plan, includes a near-complete renovation of the university campus.
What we're really building is what other universities, or aspirant universities, have. We have to be competitive. Students and prospective students vote with their feet. And so you have to have something that is attractive, something that students like, something that parents like. And one of the important parts about getting to the next level is to start.
And that start brings UWF
to right here, a giant step towards the future of UWF. I'm Nick Ray, reporting for Argo News.
How much do you have on your plate right now? Reporter Patrick Glazer has more with someone whose plate is full.
So, you think you got a lot on your plate?
Right now I'm taking 4 classes. I am taking Internet Programming, E-Business Infrastructure Management, Data Mining, and Argo News. My jobs right now, I'm actually working 4 at the moment. I'm a technical support assistant and video conference facilitator for the College of Business. I'm working also as a teaching assistant for a television instructor in the Communication Arts Department. And I actually just got a new job, and I start today as a promo production assistant for the Applied Science and Technology Department. For the first 3 years of college, all I did was restrict myself just to my studies, which is how I managed to maintain a 3.51 GPA up till now. And you know, I hear that most students, they like to add stuff. You know, I heard that the average student changes their major like up to 2 or 3 times. All I did was I could just keep adding more stuff. How I managed to keep up with all this is that, you know, I just started focusing on my studies in the beginning. For the first 3 years of college, that's all I did, study. I've heard that, you know, there's this idea of the college triangle that you can either have sleep, good grades, or a social life. Pick 2. And for the first 3 years of college, my decision was grades and sleep. During my 4th year of college, I finally decided to, you know, I need a social life. I need to get out there. I need to network, meet new people, and I started shifting my priorities towards social life. And that's actually how I've managed to get new jobs in this past year. I like the challenge of being expected to do a bunch of things and still do all of them great. That's why I'm able to do what I'm doing right now. As for other people, I recommend first they think about what they need to do. So in all honesty, there is no point in going for more than 1 bachelor degree or even a minor. If you know what you want to do, just go for 1 bachelor degree and go right for it, and you should do just fine.
Being a college student is more than just going class to class and doing your homework. It's about experience and landing that dream job. I'm Patrick Glazer, reporting for Argo News.
Cara Brown has more on how experiences are the best way to prepare for life after college.
Being an editor for a college newspaper comes with its challenges.
At the beginning of the week, I always look for potentially good stories, see what the writers have pitched, and I assign stories early in the week. On Mondays, that's our production day. We come in, we edit stories accordingly, we design pages, we make sure everything looks right, basically just for the paper that comes out about 2 days later. Occasionally we have to meet with writers in the middle of the week, see how the stories are going. They send in their first drafts. I always send back notes of what I would like changed or other things. I've been there, I was a writer, so sometimes your sources just fall through on you, and sometimes you have to literally chase someone down because they don't pick up their phone. As an editor, it's really interesting to kind of feel like I'm a part of something that at least I think is important. As a writer, I love chasing a story. I like hunting people down and figure out what's really going on, because when you have a story, you have an idea of what it's about, and then about halfway through interviewing people, you realize that it's really more about this, because that's what your sources are pushing your direction. You have to be kind of loose with it, because there's nothing concrete about any of it. It can change at any time. I feel like the news gets a bad rap because everyone has their own opinion, and when people read something and they don't agree with it, they just discard it. People are as informed as they want to be. They want to hear what they want to hear. A lot of people are scared to hear the truth because they don't like it. I try really hard to be unbiased in what I do, and I try really hard to seek out as much as the truth as possible, and to make sure that my own opinion doesn't get in the way.
Check out the Voyager from your local newsstand. I'm Cara Brown, reporting for Argo News. Changing careers after getting a degree is a difficult decision. Elizabeth Bortone has more on the story.
Recent college graduates often decide to pursue a different career path than their major of study.
I've always been into writing. I never really considered pursuing it as a career or full-time. It was just always a side thing. I always wrote a lot of papers. I was told I did really well at it, and so one day I just came home and started writing and never really looked back. I started writing just opinion articles just for fun, and then I thought, well, why not send one in and see what happens? I sent one into Pensacola News Journal and got an email about a week later saying that your article was published, and I was pretty excited. So I said, well, let's try this again. And I love the Wall Street Journal. I've read it for many years, and I wrote a response to a professor out of Virginia's blurb or article about the Higher Education Act. And 2 days later, I'm reading the paper, the opinion section, sure enough, there it is. And I kind of got really excited, freaked out a little bit, but it was nice. It's certainly fulfilling to see that you made your opinion somewhere, somebody you don't know, you could have influenced them. I think it's never too late, essentially, to start over. In the grand scheme of things, we are young. There is no straight path, I don't believe. I think people should try things. I think people should play to their advantage. And the bottom line is do what makes you happy. Do what's fulfilling, really. And if you're talented at it, you really enjoy it, then you change it. Like you have one life to live. You might as well enjoy it and have other people enjoy what you do.
While there's no guarantees in anything we do, select a career path that's right for you. I'm Elizabeth Bortone, reporting for Argo News.
Well, that's our show for today.
I'm Emily Hales.
And I'm Cara Brown. Thanks for tuning in to Argo News.